bring in now Crown Court reporter for the Liverpool Echo, Adam Everett, who joins me now and has been following this case since the start. First of all, what's been the reaction amongst the community in Liverpool to this verdict today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when at the time of the murder, it came in a period when there were a spate of shootings, really, in the city, and a spate of fatal shootings, sadly. And obviously, when we think back to that period in summer last year, it would have been one that was incredibly troubling for residents, in particular, given the nature of some of them. Some women and children killed in their own homes. It's scary, to be honest with you. So to see justice being brought to the people responsible, not just the gunman, but also the driver and to the people behind the shooting as well. I think it's just it's reassuring to know that the people who are responsible for this have been brought to justice and are potentially going to be looking at north of 30 years behind bars.
Yeah, and you could say that the person that helped bring about this conviction the most is Ashley herself, because there was a huge amount of voice notes that she sent to various friends that were produced in this trial of evidence of the background, the evidence of this feud between her then boyfriend and the men responsible for her death.
Yeah, it was a highly unusual feature of the case, really. I've certainly not come across it before, and I think the detective who we spoke to as well haven't come across it before, where a murder victim's voice notes, her own messages, have revealed the motive for her murder and also helped to catch her murder. They essentially revealed that there was a feud between Ashley's boyfriend, Lee Harrison, and Niall Barry, who was one of the four men who were convicted of murder this afternoon. It was quite a little bit of a historic feud. It dated back about 3 years or so, drugs-related feud. And essentially, Ashley was describing in her voice notes the anxiety that she was feeling as the row became more and more heated. There were threats made by Niall Barry, which Ashley was describing to her friends over WhatsApp.
Yeah,
and it was this that helped the prosecution get a good grip of what was going on behind the scenes here, and ultimately what led to Ashley's fatal shooting.
Yeah, it must have been so hard for people in the courtroom to hear her voice, especially her family, but, vital evidence in these convictions today. And just, Adam, if you wouldn't mind a wider note about Liverpool gun crime and drugs. You mentioned at the start of our interview, the backdrop to this particular case is the problem of gun violence in Liverpool.
Yeah, I think what we've got to remember is that leading up to that period in August last year, when there were the 3 fatal shootings, there was a period of more than 12 months when there wasn't a single firearms discharge in Liverpool that resulted in a fatality. So I think we've got to remember that it was a flare-up, and there were a couple of other incidents towards the back end of last year as well. Of course, we'll remember Ellie Edwards, who was shot dead on Christmas Eve outside a pub on the Wirral. But I think you've got to view these things in a wider picture, really. It was an alarming period for the city to see that many fatalities as a result of gun violence. But I think since the back end of last year, they probably have seen another decrease again, and we've got to hope that continues, really. And I think it just goes to the nature of the shocking nature of the incidents, really. I think it's really shocked people, and I think it's I think we see this decrease has been a direct result of just how appalling those crimes were at the back end of last year.
OK, Adam Everett from the Liverpool Echo, their Crown Court reporter, thank you so much for talking to us about the case of Ashley Dale, of 4 men convicted of her murder today. Thank you.